Hello and welcome to Universe Mode. This is NXT. Do you know what's just around the corner? WrestleMania. Do you know what also is just around the corner? NXT TakeOver Orlando. This is the final show before WrestleMania weekend. The final show before NXT TakeOver Orlando. And of course the final TV show, weekly show shall we say, before WrestleMania. It's an exciting time. But we cannot dwell on the thought of WrestleMania. We cannot think the WrestleMania is around the corner because tonight the NXT has put out another star-studded card. It's going to be a great one. It is going to be huge. Pretty much every person who's at TakeOver is in a matchup here tonight. But the two matches we have to talk about are these two that are closing out the show here. You see there, Big Show will face Hiroshi Tanahashi in the first of the two. It is a long road, I guess, and a high wall for Tanahashi to overcome in order to get to TakeOver in the Big Show. It is going to be a tough contest for him, and make no mistake about it. The Ace is going to look to be victorious here tonight over the world's largest athlete. Tanahashi has the main event to worry about. He's got the NXT Championship to worry about. Big Show, of course, wants to become the NXT Global Champion at TakeOver. And speaking of that very title, and in fact speaking of both titles, tonight's main event, champion versus champion. Kurt Angle goes one-on-one with Coren. It is the NXT Global Champion against the NXT Champion. And it is going to be a very interesting affair. We saw Coren and Tanahashi's face-off last week. We saw them go man-to-man, nose-to-nose with one another, but we saw Coren get the upper hand through the use of weapons. What will happen here tonight in that main event with Kurt Angle? What will happen with Tanahashi against Big Show? What will happen throughout the night on this card? We will find that all out and more, but before we get to any of that, we're going to start things off here with the Sheriff of NXT. Stone Cold Steve Austin has one final announcement to make. And there he is. There is the Sheriff rolling into town one final time before TakeOver, making sure that everything's working well before that huge event rolls itself into town. Austin is here to deliver the big news, and whatever news it is about, I don't know, but he has informed us that it will be maybe not so big and maybe not so groundbreaking, but certainly important for the grand scheme of NXT TakeOver. And I wonder what he means by that. I mean, every match has been announced. We have 6 matches scheduled for that TakeOver card. Where do we go? What do we do? What left is there to announce? I don't know, but Stone Cold's got the answer to my question, I guess. Just gotta wait on him to to announce it. You see, as he takes his reception from the NXT crowd here in the Hammerstein Ballroom, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is cautious, reminding everyone we are inches away from NXT TakeOver Orlando. And as great of a show as it's going to be, there is sadly one pressing matter to attend to. Stone Cold doesn't want to take up too much time explaining it though, so we'll get right to it. We saw what happened last week, and now it is time to deliver action against it. If you don't know what he's on about, he's referring to what I talked about regarding Coren and Tanahashi, I believe. Indeed he is. Although there are other pressing matters to attend to, like the Bate and Kanellis saga, they will settle at a TakeOver. As for Coren and Tanahashi, what happened last week was sickening by Coren, and action needs to be taken. He's so persistent on using weapons, well, we fear that he'll use it at TakeOver. So because that's the case, if Coren uses a weapon at TakeOver or gets himself disqualified, he will be stripped of the NXT Championship, and Tanahashi will be champion. And one final remark by Stone Cold there. Coren, if you dare be so stupid to throw away your title, then use a weapon. If not, prove us all that you can do it without the use of a foreign object. Prove to everyone that you have what it takes to do it by your own 2 hands. And if you don't, if you choose to use a weapon, don't force Stone Cold to come down there after you. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. There is the word from Austin. A stipulation has been added on top of it. It was going to be a normal one-on-one match anyway, but now to avoid anything along those lines happening, to allow any kind of problems from occurring here at TakeOver, if Coren uses a weapon, not only will he be DQ'd, he will be stripped of the title, and it will go to Tanahashi. That, I think, is a great bit of work by the NXT Sheriff and GM. Well, there you go. Good announcement there by Austin. I look forward to seeing what will happen at TakeOver as a result of that being put in place. Coren is now going to fight with his own 2 hands, as much as he probably didn't want to. Probably would have taken the DQ if it meant he could destroy Tanahashi more. Well, now he has no choice but to accept that DQ. And of course, accept losing the title, should he decide that he wants to use a weapon. We'll see if that'll happen or not. In just a little while at TakeOver. It's finally here. The moment we've been all waiting for, WrestleMania weekend. There's no feeling like it. And it's almost here. Anyway, before we get to that, as I said, almost every person at TakeOver is in action here tonight, and here is one of them, Tyler Bate. Stone Cold briefly brought up the Bate Canellis situation. Well, of course, that'll be settled at NXT TakeOver Orlando. No titles on the line, but a grudge between both men, which will be settled when they square off in that ring. Canellis, as a matter of fact, unless I'm wrong about this. Actually, no, I'm not wrong. There are two people on the card, on the TakeOver card, who aren't in action here tonight. One of them is Mike Canellis. The other is Tessa Blanchard, the #1 contender to the NXT Women's Championship. That, however, is it. Everyone else who's on the NXT TakeOver card is in action here tonight. So that should be very, very interesting indeed. Big matches coming up here. Starting, well, you know, from the very start, with a 6-man tag later on tonight. And we have, we also have the NXT Women's Champion in action up next. Apologies for if I make a lot of coughing noises as well. But anyway, Pete Dunne heads towards the ring here. Dunne is not in a good position right now, in all fairness, heading into TakeOver. He's in that triple threat match. He's got Kurt Angle and Big Show he's going up against in that triple threat match. And he has lost to both of them and has victories over neither. Pete Dunne right now was the one who made this a triple threat. He was the one who got himself involved. He was the one who threw himself into that situation. And right now he's looking not that great. I mean, I know he's taking on arguably one of, if not the greatest mat wrestler of all time. I mean, he's a US Olympian, so that kind of talks for itself for Kurt Angle. But he's taking on the brute that is the Big Show, the world's largest athlete. Pete Dunne is neither the greatest mat wrestler of all time, arguably, or is the world's largest athlete. And that was not arguably. He just isn't the world's largest athlete. And there's no doubt about that one. So, it's tough. It is tough for Pete Dunne. Has the Bruiserweight bitten off more than he can chew heading into TakeOver? I think in a way, yes, but with it being a triple threat element and with Big Show and Kurt Angle having their own problems with one another, Dunne could maybe capitalize, maybe, but it ain't going to be easy for him to do that. He's going to have to defy a lot of the doubts about him, I guess. But before we get to any of that, we're in for a great match here to kick things off at NXT. Bate and Dunne, 2 fine British athletes heading into this matchup. This one should be a very, very entertaining one indeed. Let's see how this one gets underway. Clothesline there by Pete Dunne now. Short arm clothesline as off we go between these two men. They've had their bouts in the past, but they've also been by each other's side in other companies as well. So this could be a very, very invigorating matchup because of there might be a feeling out process. There might be there might be more to that regard. They know each other so well that it might be difficult for one to get the upper hand over the other. There's that back elbow again by Tyler Bate. Right now, it's just been strikes from Tyler Bate and a lot of hits by Pete Dunne. Nice clothesline there by Pete Dunne. But Tyler Bate is forcing himself up to his feet. Oh, but only to be sent to the outside by Pete Dunne there. Competitive start by both men, that's for certain. Into the barricade now, and into that steal again goes Pete Dunne. Something that he can't afford to have happening to him this close to TakeOver, really. Oh, and there it is. He may not be in action here tonight, but that doesn't mean that he can't in some way mess around here. Bate wants him. Bate wants Canellis. Oh, and he's going to get him. Bate turns around, but not at the right time. Photo finish by Canellis. He flattens him out there. And the referee is going to count the fall. Pete Dunne wins, but through the assist Not even the assist. Basically, through the entire work of Mike Kanellis. What we essentially just saw was Kanellis work his entire way towards the goal, only for Pete Dunne to just tap in at the last moment. Pete Dunne takes the victory thanks to Mike Kanellis and beats Tyler Bate here and is on his way now. He'll leave this arena and go off to TakeOver. But that could be all that Pete Dunne needs to become a global champion. A TakeOver just needs that little... It's the pinfall that makes you champion, not what you do during the match. But Tyler Bate, make no mistake about it, when he faces Mike Kanellis this upcoming weekend at TakeOver, man alive, is he going to rip him apart? Because he has just been flattened by him over these last 2 weeks. And if you thought that what happened on NXT last week by Mike Kanellis was vicious, wait until you see what happens when Bate is forced to act against Kanellis, and indeed he will at TakeOver. That being said, we're going to move on to our next contest now. The NXT Women's Champion is in action, and although she cannot wait to get her hands on Tessa Blanchard at TakeOver, she has to wait until then just to get her hands on a member of Trifecta, and that will be Santana Garrett. Well, let's see what'll happen in this one. Santana Garrett, make no mistake about it, has showed her allegiance to be true to Trifecta. But last week she was forced to watch on the sidelines as that woman there, Jazzy Gabert, took a hell of a beating by Kairi Sane and Ruby Riott. But it was all worth it in the end, I guess, because they were... Well, it wasn't worth it in the end, rather, because Riott and Sane would end up getting the win. Riott would end up pinning Gabert and in a way shutting up Garrett. Of course, Santana Garrett turned on Ruby Riott, heading into... to join Trifecta. And Riott last week shut her up a little bit, but now Garrett will be in ring action here tonight against the NXT Women's Champion. And she welcomes the opportunity. She seems to be quite hungry about the thought of being in the ring with her. Although she should be aware of this woman, she should be aware of what she has done since being NXT Women's Champion. She should be aware how truly dangerous she can be. Kairi Sane heads towards the ring here with one thought running through her mind, and that is victory. Victory here tonight, and the thought of beating Tessa Blanchard at TakeOver. All of those are key. Kairi Sane's mental assets heading into TakeOver, and tonight as well. She wants that victory badly. She wants to still be NXT Women's Champion. And she doesn't want someone like Tessa Blanchard and Trifecta running the NXT Women's division in that regard. Because you know they are currently running rampant through it, and if they get the title at TakeOver, they will choose to run it their own way. Kairi Sane is the defending force against it. There may well be 3 of Trifecta, but there's only one Kairi Sane, and at TakeOver she looks to make sure she is the only one holding on to that NXT Women's Championship. Here tonight, she has to face off against Santana Garrett. Make no mistake about it, just because she hasn't been around and just because she hasn't had this many matches doesn't mean that Garrett is a pushover, because she certainly isn't. She'll give Kairi Sane a run for her money here, and Sane needs to be careful. She can't afford to allow herself to be on the onslaught of Santana Garrett for too long, given how close TakeOver is now, given how close that big match is for her. Fisherman's suplex there by Garrett. She doesn't look for the cover early on. She's just looking right now to go to work on Kairi Sane, it seems. Well, Sane is able to quickly bring out the counter there. Tessa Blanchard, as you see, not at ringside. Wonder where she is. Number 1 contender, of course, for the NXT Women's Championship. Wonder what is Tessa Blanchard doing? Where is she? Should we keep an eye out for her? I mean, probably yes is the answer, I imagine. Jazzy Gabert at ringside as well will certainly be a factor if she is needed in this one. The alpha female with a close eye on a Trifecta member and the NXT Women's Champion. Russian leg sweep now by Santana Garrett. Her job, win or lose, will just be to wear down Kairi Sane. To just hurt Kairi Sane if at all possible. stop her from heading into TakeOver 100% and to make sure that she won't leave that event NXT Women's Champion. But right now, Sane is heading out with a lot of vengeance and a lot of fire. She just wants to beat Garrett up as well. If not for her, then for her friend Ruby Riott. Suplex cradle neck breaker there, and Garrett will take things up to the top rope here. This is usually Sane's territory, but Garrett's going up there. Went for the moonsault, but Sane moved out of the way. Good forearm in the face there now, and here go the strikes of Kairi Sane. Oh my god. Axe kick on the back of the head there, and you see from how slow Garrett is getting up to her feet how much that truthfully affected her. Sane now starting to turn the pace of this match around a little bit. But again, Garrett sweeps that leg underneath her. Great speed by Garrett. Counters the kick and then ducks under. Ducks under the kick and then swipes the leg away. Up on the second rope she sits now. Kairi Sane in trouble here. Oh my! Cross body there by Santana Garrett. She effectively just threw herself at Kairi Sane there. Let's see what else Garrett has in mind here. In the turnbuckle goes Sane. She quickly counters out anything dangerous that Garrett may have had in her mind, and again delivers that hard knee in the back. But again, Santana Garrett just keeps fighting back here, just keeps being a deliberately tough opponent for Kairi Sane. She is making Sane wear herself up before NXT TakeOver, and it's something that Sane can't afford to do. She goes up high. Elbow drop there. Didn't seem to quite have the ferocity of the insane elbow. She might be waiting to build up to that one. Counter there, though, by Santana Garrett. Once more went for the super kick. Sane knew she had to act quickly there to get out of the way. But, oh! Fell prey of that incredibly agile Northern Lights suplex there. Santana Garrett's head was almost touching the floor, and she was still standing on her own 2 feet. And now she attacks the arm of Sane here, looking to take away that insane elbow. Oh, but there's the counter by Kairi Sane now. Drives her down to the mat with a reverse DDT and sees the opportunity waiting in front of her. She climbs to the top rope. Will this be the fate of Blanchard this Sunday? It won't be the fate of Garrett right now, as she does her best to slip her way out of that one. Oh, but only into the path of Kairi Sane does she continue to go. Sane has something big planned here. Up on that top rope. Oh my god, I know what it's going to be. Top rope Samoan driver. Look at that by Sane. Flips back round, lands on her feet. And takes it to the top rope. This time Garrett ain't moving. Insane elbow. What a maneuver that one is. What an elbow drop to Garrett. And it doesn't seal it though. Santana Garrett forces herself to kick out. Sane has to keep fighting here. Worst case scenario has struck for Kairi Sane. She was hoping that that one would be enough to finish the job, but it was anything but the case. Oh, this is going to hurt her in the turnbuckle. Super kick is ducked there by Sane. She keeps on going here. Her refusal to say that, her refusal to quit, her refusal to say that she has had enough, shining through there. Kairi Sane keeps going now. But how much more can she keep on forcing herself to compete here? How much more of a beating can she dish out, and how much more of a beating can she take before TakeOver? For every move that she hits, Tessa Blanchard is gaining an advantage here by not being in the ring. Gabert watching on. She hasn't got herself involved. I'm quite surprised. Garrett, though, in big trouble. Running. Elbow! Right in that turnbuckle. And Sane. Oh, wow. She just ran right into that snapmare there from Garrett. Santana Garrett just took an elbow full-fledged in the face there and is still able to recover from it somehow. This time she goes to the turnbuckle. And this time she drills her with a super kick. But Sane able to counter there. Uppercut, great separation. Garrett counters her though. Kairi Sane counters, back spear! From out of the blue. And Kairi Sane still can't put away Garrett here. And her frustration is building. Is almost reaching fever pitch now. She rolls up Garrett, hoping that'll be enough. There's two and she's still kicking out. Oh, what more do you have to do here? Santana Garrett has trained almost to just be this frustrating for Kairi Sane. Reversal there now by Santana Garrett. Is she going to the turnbuckle again? No. Not this time around. She's picking up Kairi Sane now. Oh, capture suplex. Nope, countered. Look at that now. Sane counters. Roll up. Great bridge as well over Santana Garrett. Will this do it? Yes, it will. Kairi Sane is your winner. Kairi Sane victorious over Santana Garrett there, but that's only a piece of the puzzle, because here comes her opponent to take over. Tessa Blanchard blasting Sane with a kendo stick of all things. Tessa Blanchard is the real target for Kairi Sane to keep her eye out for, and Blanchard just let her know. Well, well, well. Am I really surprised by what I just saw? No. Do I think the revenge is on the way for Tessa Blanchard at NXT TakeOver? Absolutely. She may have bitten off more than she can chew, but we'll find out at NXT TakeOver Orlando. As for right now, though, we're going to move on to our next contest. It is a 6-man tag team match here. Big Cass will team with SAnitY to take on his TakeOver opponent, Wwe Jose and American Alpha. Cass and Jose have had their differences dating back as far as NXT TakeOver, not Toronto, sorry, San Antonio. Now they look to settle it this weekend at NXT TakeOver Orlando, and what an interesting way to settle it it will be. I am very much so looking forward to seeing that match between those two. Falls count anywhere, no less. Big Cass wanted to finally rid Wwe Jose from NXT, says he reminds him of Enzo Amore, and it is time to get rid of him for that very reason. Big Cass hopes to be victorious and to really show why this place is his NXT. We'll see if that'll be the case or not. And of course, another team looking to bag something for them is this duo. Last week, Eric Young was the victim of a very, I don't want to say skill, but definitely planned attack from American Alpha. Coming towards the ring right now, Killian Dane and Eric Young of SAnitY getting set for their tag team title matchup against American Alpha. Eric Young seems to have batted off what happened last week. No Sawyer Fulton here. Not for the reason of protecting from a jump attack, for the simple reason being a 6-man tag. There are a lot of bodies already around, and SAnitY believe that they'll just need to do this business by themselves right now, but Fulton will more than likely be there at TakeOver. But with that being said, we'll see what will happen right now, right here. Because I imagine with all the bodies in this ring, SAnitY and American Alpha are bound to meet, considering they make up, what, 2/3 of this matchup. Eric Young will be out for revenge on either man. Killian Dane the same, as his leader will tell him what to do. So with that being said, I'm looking forward to this tag match. 6-man tag, it's a lot of combustible elements, a lot of people who are going to explode at one another, and I think we are in for a good amount of chaos, I would imagine. Something that SAnitY are certainly going to welcome fully before TakeOver. Because at TakeOver they will be insinuating the chaos with American Alpha. They will be the reason for why there is chaos, and they will look to further act upon it. So I am very much so excited for that tag match. I'm also excited for this one right now. How will 6 men in the same ring, where you have to pin where you only get to pin one of them to be victorious? How is that all gonna work? How is everyone gonna work together? How is a trio like SAnitY and Big Cass gonna work together? I'm not too sure, but you see them all standing in the ring. And especially if you're SAnitY, you're standing in the ring for these men, the NXT Tag Team Champions, American Alpha, gearing up for this match here. Getting their tag team juices flowing ahead of NXT TakeOver, the longest reigning current champions in the universe. Won the titles at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn some 7 months ago now. And I've been almost enthralled in a battle with SAnitY ever since. It feels like that. It feels like that's the case. SAnitY and the DCC feel like have been their only targets, and at TakeOver, I imagine it will be decided for good. It will be settled between SAnitY and American Alpha for those tag team titles. The months and months of back and forth, the months of trash talking essentially, the months of attacking one another will come to a head at TakeOver. And here comes the man who I'm surprised actually didn't come out first out of everyone, so we could say he led the conga line into this 6-man tag match. It is Wwe Jose making his way out last year. Man, is he looking to be in a happy spirit still, even though there are 6 men in this matchup. I mean, you know, while Jose has to contest with 5 other people, what you can also see in that ring is one big party getting ready to happen, and you know that Wwe Jose is a fan of his parties. But we also know that when it comes to being in that ring, Wwe Jose takes himself very seriously, and he will take himself very seriously heading into this Sunday. I say Sunday because I've been so autopiloted for WrestleMania this weekend at TakeOver. He will look to overcome that man standing there who is giving him no state of mind right now. He will look to overcome Big Cass and his antics. Right now, Wwe Jose is making sure that all the attention is on him in the Hammerstein Ballroom. American Alpha and SAnitY separated by the ring and by the man who's occupying it right now. Eric Young perhaps talking strategy with Big Cass. Big Cass is just now, he's got his eyes set on Wwe Jose. Just when it comes to NXT TakeOver, he will have his eyes only set on him. And Force Count Anywhere as well being applied. Match can end anywhere, any weapons can be used. It's going to be a very brutal matchup, I could see it being. Well, let's see what's going to happen here. So we got Big Cass, who's going to start things off against Chad Gable of American Alpha. The bell rings, and we are underway. Look at that, immediately Chad Gable making sure to try and ground the big man. There are 2 big men in this matchup here, so in some ways American Alpha are the American Alpha and Jose can be seen as the underdogs, but certainly looking to use their speed. And maybe quick tags will also be on the menu for American Alpha and Jose in order to be successful. And there is one right there. Tag made Jason Jordan the legal man now. Atomic dropping a big boot there. Already working well with one another, our American Alpha, but that is to be expected. What really needs to be tested is the man whose afro takes up about 60% of the screen right now, in all fairness, in Wwe Jose, and he's got a very close eye on his TakeOver opponent, but he isn't taking action. He isn't starting to swing just yet. He's waiting patiently. Chinlock applied there, and you saw Cass and Jose just staring each other down temporarily. Big Cass has all of a sudden turned this match around and is taking control over Jason Jordan. Oh, Irish whip up and over. And I think Big Cass did that deliberately, so Jose would have to get off the apron. And Jose being forced to take action now against Big Cass. Swung at him there and is now throwing him, well, not back in the ring, that's for certain. Jose has Big Cass in his clutches, and everything he's doing here right now, well, would be as legal as you like this Sunday. Wwe Jose is getting in a little bit extra. Referee just letting it go there. Caught him with that leg drop. But Big Cass is right back in control as he gets back in the ring here. Russian leg sweep. Nails it on Jordan. Jason Jordan is in deep trouble here. Big Cass hasn't made the tag out yet. And he's been kind of holding his own. Finally, he's going to tag out here. A member of SAnitY is going to get in, and it's going to be... Oh, my God. It's going to be big. It's going to be Big Cass and Killian Dane working together there. Launching at Jason Jordan. And Dane can finally get some revenge for last week for being blindsided on the ramp by American Alpha, for having to witness his leader take a grand amplitude. Dragon Sleeper applied on the get-go here, but counters that one. Does Jason Jordan. And finally with an Irish whip in the turnbuckle here. Can't get the tag out that he was looking for, though. Has him in his clutches here now. Does Jason Jordan have something else planned? Throws him in the turnbuckle, tags in Gable again. Interesting that Jose hasn't been tagged in yet. Double team move on its way here to Killian Dane. Maybe it's because this is American Alpha business that was the reason why. Double arm drag there. And Gable will actually almost heed the call. He's walked over to their corner. I can only imagine for one reason why, and indeed it is. No way Jose tagged in here against the big man that is Killian Dane. Both men around the same height. Think about that. All the words I said about Dane being a big man. Jose, not including Afro, is the same height as Killian Dane. Kicking the leg there. DDT now by No Way Jose. He was waiting a little bit here to get himself going. And he's feeling feisty. But here comes the strength now of Dane. Oh, powerbomb. Follows through with an elbow drop. Tag made, and here we go now. A prelude to takeover. It's on its way. Big Cass in the ring now with No Way Jose getting the club away at his rival. Both the members of American Alpha calling for the tag, and he'll make Jason Jordan there. Seems as if you had to reach for one of them, and he got Jordan. Tag made, and Jordan flying in now. Double drop kick and an overhead belly to belly. But in this moment, it becomes a 3-on-2 handicap for American Alpha to contest with. Big Cass taking one hell of a beating, and it's interesting that Cass is currently taking the beating. And oh, I spoke too soon. I was going to say he's taking the beating, but we haven't seen Eric Young in the matchup. Well, here he is, and he's locking horns right away with a member of American Alpha. Has him up on his shoulder here. Is he thinking power slam? He's draping him with snake eyes there over the ropes. Oh, I'd watch out where you are trying to get your little taunting in there. Eric Young was lucky to not be gripped by Chad Gable. But that being said, look at the strike there of Jason Jordan, able to power out of it right away. Eric Young is in trouble right now. Sent into the turnbuckle. And he'll tag in Chad Gable here, and you know why. Because it could be the same fate as TakeOver. Grand Amplitude. Looking to take care of business as Jordan single-handedly removes everyone else. And oh, Grand Amplitude just couldn't end it. Gable tags back out. Jose in off the tag, and oh, he's feeling it. Oh, look at that pop-up punch there. Jose gonna feel that Cobra Clutch Slam now. Eric Young taking the full brute of these attacks. Cobra Clutch Slam into the cover. Big Cass is there to try and break it up. Stopped, but Eric Young still kicked out. Eric Young has had a nightmare since getting tagged in. And finally able to counter something there for his own sake. Flying forearm in the corner now. Eric Young may have just taken every little ounce that this trio had within them. Eric Young now running. Oh my God! Almost threw him into the turnbuckle. Jesus Christ! Eric Young up high now. Thinking elbow drop. Yes, he is. Oh, but no way. Jose got out of the way. And tags back into Chad Gable here. Flying forearm now, and the leader of SAnitY is in big, big trouble. Once more at the clutches of American Alpha. Look at that there by Chad Gable. Jason Jordan, from all the beating he's taken in this matchup, you can see him recovering. Big Cass has been thrown out of the ring now on more than one occasion. But Eric Young will get what he wants, and that is a tag into Killian Dane here. Oh, leaping drop kick now by the brute from Belfast. And the strength continues on here. Look at that, just throwing him over his head there with that power bomb. Up on the shoulders now. This is looking dangerous. Wasteland there. And much like the powerbomb, Dane follows through with a senton splash there. Uh-oh. This is looking particularly dangerous. Running elbow drop by Dane. Took the run up there. And made that feel even worse for Chad Gable, who's now on the receiving end of a big running splash by Killian Dane. But again, he'll go to the ropes. And all this time he misses with the elbow drop. Gable just barely able to get himself out of the way there. Gable sends him into the turnbuckle now. Tags in Jason Jordan. They're going to look to end it with another one. Grand amplitude. There goes Cass. What is going on here? The referee taking ages to go into the cover. Gable had to take care of business himself. Dane stayed down long enough though. American Alpha and No Way Jose are your winners. It was hard work there for the trio. It was a cluster going on in that ring. But it is victory for American Alpha and No Way Jose before TakeOver. Good spirits all around for these three men. SAnitY and Big Cass, not so much. They just didn't seem to gel as a trio. Cass just seemed to be all about himself, and once he tagged out the first time round, he didn't seem too ecstatic about coming in the second time. Eric Young and Jason Jordan both received great beatings, which could play their part heading into TakeOver. Chad Gable seemed to be going really well, as did Killian Dane, up until that Grand Amplitude just seemed to slam him down for the count. No Way Jose, pretty damn good as well. Could be an interesting night at TakeOver for those two matches, but there is one match that we are most certainly looking forward to, and it is the main event of TakeOver. It is Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Coren for the NXT Championship, and both men are in action up next. But they're taking on members of that triple threat match for the NXT Global Championship as well. We are seeing two big title matches, members of two big title matches in singles matches. And we're going to start things off with Big Show against Tanahashi. Well, let's see what happens in this one then. Big time matchup between these two men, and a match that really one of them is okay with and one of them probably welcomes, but one certainly, well, maybe not he welcomes it, but probably not a big fan of it, and that being Hiroshi Tanahashi. Think about it, Tanahashi does not want to be this close to TakeOver and be in a tough matchup like this with a tough opponent like the Big Show. It's not something that really anyone wants, but it's something that you have to contend with. It's just kind of one of those things that just happens. And unfortunately for Tanahashi here tonight, it has to happen. He has to go in that ring with the Big Show and take him on just days before his matchup against Coren. Just days before that main event to TakeOver, he is in for a tough fight here, and he's going to have to use all of his skills and all of his abilities to overcome a man like Big Show. He's overcome men like this before, has Tanahashi, but it's tougher when there is something so close that you desire so greatly. Tanahashi desires that NXT Championship. He desires to be champion. But he's got to go through Big Show here tonight to get to that ability, to get that opportunity to be champion. And you know, don't think that Big Show might go easy on him. Big Show doesn't care really. Just so long as he's getting what he wants coming out of TakeOver, he doesn't really care about whatever else happens. So Tanahashi is not going to get an easy ride to TakeOver courtesy of the Big Show. He is not going to turn. He's not going to pull aside from him and allow Tanahashi to keep going full speed ahead. This is a proper roadblock in the way of Tanahashi right now, and he's got to do his very best to overcome it. And hope that later on tonight, actually up next rather should I say, that Kurt Angle can do the same to Coren and give him the same levels of difficulties that Tanahashi is going to suffer from in this matchup. Because if he can't, if Tanahashi struggles in this matchup, or dare I say even loses this matchup, and Coren is able to somehow easily beat Kurt Angle, that is worrying for Tanahashi. That is concerning for the ace. Just all that matters, and if he can do it here tonight, I believe Tanahashi will beat Big Show, but I do believe it's going to be tough to beat the Big Show. It's not going to be a matter of one high fly flow and he's done and here comes takeover. It's going to be a lot of taking punishment from this man. It's going to be a lot of beating inflicted on him, and he's going to have to really bring out all that he can to be victorious here tonight. And you see Tanahashi from the get-go, though. There's no grounding the big man because Big Show fell over right away. But look at that. Slaps him in the face and a backbreaker that follows up immediately. The ace does not want this happening, especially after last week's beatdown by Coren following their face-to-face. Strength there from Big Show, just pushed away Tanahashi. He has to almost back himself up a little bit and think, alright, what's next? Nothing, as it turns out, because Big Show just pushed him away there with ease, created separation, and chopped Tanahashi in the back of his head. Now the big, brutal power moves of the Big Show started to show up there. There was a headbutt, but Tanahashi has endured plenty of them and uses Big Show's momentum against him there to drop him down with that drop toe hold. Tanahashi going to the top rope early here. Is he thinking a cross-body variation of the high fly flow? He is, and he follows through with it. He gets what he desires and into the cover, but a very early kick out. And the swinging commences now from Tanahashi. Quickly stopped, though, by the Big Show, and head first now into that turnbuckle. This is going to do damage to Tanahashi. All 10 of them there. And a full Nelson slam to follow up after it. Big Show's punching away at Tanahashi's head because he knows it's a weak spot. He knows that Tanahashi took chair shots to it. He took a clock strikes 12 on the outside last week, and he knows that he needs to soften it up to get that knockout punch to put him away. Tanahashi is reeling right now. This is almost to be expected from the Big Show. Tanahashi here, using the steps to his advantage on the outside there. Smart idea, in all fairness. If he sees an opening, Tanahashi has got to take full advantage of it. This isn't, this is somewhere where Tanahashi has to play the good guy and win majestically and nobly. He's just got to win here. Task against Big Show is basically to survive. What a DDT there by Tanahashi on the outside. He gets himself back in the ring. Counts up to 7 now. Big Show quite comfortably is gonna make that count, I think. Tanahashi might have been thinking something else on the outside, but probably thought it was best to just stay calm there. Got a little bit too close for the referee's liking. Oh my God, runs in there. And then a power slam right after it. The Big Show just came right back after Tanahashi hoped that he was in control. Spear by Big Show. But Tanahashi is right back up to his feet now. This is great by both men to see their determination for victory. Tanahashi just able to get that drop toe hold in. No way. No, what? Look at this. A Styles Clash by Tanahashi on the Big Show. Cover after it, and Show kicks out at 1. Tanahashi makes the run in. Sling blade to Big Show, but he can't follow himself up after it. Too much fatigue for the ace to endure there. Too much of a beating he's withstood in this matchup so far to go for that count to get that early win. Well, not early win, but just to get that win. Uh-oh, Big Show got something devious planned. Went for a big boot. Tanahashi almost knew it was coming. Counted it. And the strength now. No strength. Tanahashi, Cobra, clutch Russian leg sweep. It took a second, essentially, to recover. It's incredible by Tanahashi to take the beating that he has taken in this matchup and to be able to get back up to his feet as quickly as he did as well. Tanahashi keeps going now, and another Russian leg sweep here, just looking to continuously take the Big Show off his feet, to take him off at such angles where he doesn't feel comfortable, and his weight changes and his body just starts to, you know, just starts to fall underneath him. Big Show, though, turns him round. Oh, no. No! The knockout punch! Is Tanahashi done for here? One. Oh, no, he ain't. What a kick out by Tanahashi. But Big Show doesn't let up here and keeps going with the shots into Tanahashi's face. Over and over he went there. Big Show has been taking control in key areas right now. And the longer that Tanahashi withstands a beating, the more difficult it is for him to return one to the Big Show. Tanahashi counters from behind with that Cobra Clutch slam, Cobra Clutch Russian leg sweep again. Indeed he is. Tanahashi picks up Big Show. Snapdragon suplex there to the near 500-pounder. Incredible work there by Tanahashi. Absolutely outstanding. Went for the flying forearm, I guess. Just flying himself at Big Show. But it's countered. Headbutt there. Big Show in again with another spear to Tanahashi. And another cover here to finish up the ace. And Tanahashi kicks at it too, though only barely. Oh, God. Big Show just walked over him there. Whoa, was thinking knockout punch. What a counter by Tanahashi. But Big Show counters back that huge attempted slam by Tanahashi and just throws him across the ring there. That was a big back and forth moment for both men. Big Show lifts up Tanahashi again, thinking spear. No, snap man. And a chin lock applied now, and he just copped onto the fact that Tanahashi's bleeding. Big Show busted him open at some point. Tanahashi keeps fighting now. Oh, but Big Show has him right where he wants him, maybe, in that turnbuckle. Oh, he's putting him up on the top rope. That can become Tanahashi's territory, but it is dangerous for Tanahashi nonetheless. Kicks his way out of it there. Tanahashi, crossbody variation on high fly flow. And Tanahashi's starting to feel the juices flowing here. He's calling him up again. Tanahashi will do it again there to the Big Show. A second in a row. Sling blade by Tanahashi now. And he goes up high for high fly flow. 1, 2. Tanahashi beats Big Show with a huge flurry at the end to overcome him. That was a lot for Tanahashi. That was a lot. He just had to throw all out in one go there. But it was enough for the victory. Hiroshi Tanahashi victorious in this one just before takeover. But he took a knockout punch. He took 2 spears. And he took a busted open head. Big Show looked really strong in that one. But Tanahashi showed that the ace can withstand almost everything and everyone. Here's to hoping that this Sunday here's to hoping that this weekend he can withstand Coren and become NXT champion. It's all on you, Tanahashi. Don't let us down. Speaking of the NXT champion, he's in action up next. It is champion versus champion for tonight's main event. It is Kurt Angle against Coren. And now we ask the same question for this main event. Will this one be a long match? Which, of course, both men really don't need. But neither man can also afford to lose a matchup this close to TakeOver. And if you are Coren, you are always ignorant to losing matches. If you are Kurt Angle, you know that you've got a triple threat match and the last thing you really want to do is lose a match. You have your back up against a wall, you're in a match where you don't need to be pinned to lose the title. You don't want to be losing a matchup this close to it. Kurt Angle last week squared off with Pete Dunne and was victorious, yes, but Once again, it is a matter of Angle wants a victory. Angle needs a victory here. And will do essentially whatever he can to get his hands on it, I believe. Within the rules, of course. Because Kurt Angle isn't one to bend rules. Kurt Angle isn't one to try and work his way around it. He's an Olympic gold medalist who's been the NXT Global Champion now for some 6 months. And he's prided himself on it ever since he won that title from Bret the Hitman Hart. And he will look to continue priding himself as champion for as long as he can. We'll see just how long that is going to be. Coming out of NXT TakeOver. Will it end at that event? Will it continue on further? We'll find out. But right now, Angle just temporarily has to take his thought process off TakeOver and onto his opponent. Because make no mistake about it, his opponent is a tough one. His opponent in NXT circumstances is the tough one. It is the NXT champion. It is Coren who heads towards the ring here for this one. He has been NXT champion since November. He brutalized Okada. Yes, Kazuchika Okada, the man going to the main event of WrestleMania this Sunday on 2 occasions. He says he's the reason why Okada left NXT, and as much as I despise this guy, he had a large part to play in it. And now he sets his sights on Hiroshi Tanahashi. He sets his sight on finishing off the ace. But now, of course, with that new stipulation put into place, Coren realizes that he's in for a tough one. He has got to win that matchup at TakeOver with no weapons. If he gets himself DQ'd, not only, of course, does he lose the matchup, but he loses the belt, and it goes to Tanahashi. And yes, you could say, oh, that's harsh for this man, but when you've seen what this man has done for NXT, when you see that he's the reason why the Macho Man Randy Savage and Stone Cold Steve Austin have had to retire, when you see that that is the case, and he used weapons in his way to getting those outcomes, it's not a surprise. Matter of fact, I think this, minus his debut over the Macho Man, which was a case of just him getting the jump on being fresh and new, every one of his TakeOver matches have involved weapons of some sort. At TakeOver Brooklyn, he was involved in the triple threat main event for the NXT Championship with no DQ. He beat Okada in an Extreme Rules match at Toronto. He retained in TLC. This is definitely his first title defense in a no DQ circumstance. And right now, these guys are getting a little too close to the... thank you. Getting a little too close to the camera for my liking. But Coren is in a little bit of a tough predicament here, and I'm happy. I'm happy that's the case. Good angle right now. Has to somehow withstand the mix-up of offense that Coren brings. One moment he's a brutal striker, the next he's a clinical, technical wrestler. The next he's just all-out insane and too hard to read. Oh god, what has he got in mind here? Puts Angle between the ropes there, forearms into the back now of the global champion. And a backstab and a follow-up after it. Countered there quickly by Angle, sends him into the turnbuckle, hoping for something here in retaliation. Kurt Angle looking to return the favor for that backstab, but with a big move of his own. Buckle bomb there by Angle. Counter there by Coren, however, and once again just goes back to clubbing away at Kurt Angle. And I know what he's looking for here in the turnbuckle. This is a dangerous maneuver. Look at that strength, though, to hold him up like that in a dragon sleeper position. That is what the NXT champion does, and that's what he prides himself on. Knees across the gut there now of Kurt Angle. Every move that this man hits can be dangerous. Emerald Flosion there. And he goes for the first cover of this matchup here on Angle, who's powering out at an early count of 1. Oh, look at that high kick in the head there by Coren. He keeps going here with the strikes now. Angle able to counter something there. Coren looked like he was about to lean in for a strike. It was very quickly countered. That time, though, Coren's the one countering Angle up in his shoulders. Death Valley driver. Turns around a little bit. Fireman's carry cutter he transitions it into. Uh-oh. This is not going to be where this is not going to be what Kurt Angle wants. Oh my god! Double underhook gutbuster there by the NXT champion. I don't think I've seen that before. From that position. Raking the eyes now, though, of the global champ. You see it, almost polar opposites in the ring. A man who respects the rules and a man who doesn't care for them. Dropped him down there. Did Coren with a harsh. Well, I was gonna say about the knee in the face there, but it ended up being the strikes that I end up talking about there. The flurry of strikes. Oh, reverse lariat now. Bringing them all out here, bringing out all the big guns. And Angle is still kicking out very early on. But the more you kick out, the more you aggravate the NXT champion. The more harm you're essentially causing for yourself. Coren turns around Kurt Angle now. Thankfully, Angle able to counter there. And oh, decks the champion with one big punch. Coren, though, gets out of the way. Behind now. Look for the dragon suplex there. Look to try and one-up Tanahashi, maybe. Angle able to counter it. Belly to belly now, and the NXT champion's in a little bit of trouble here. Good to see. Blasting him with an knee in the face there as Kurt Angle. And now with hard strikes into his face as well. Angle, make no mistake about it, treats NXT like his home. And to see Coren at the top of it must be tough for Angle to watch as well. Oh! Went for the running shoulder tackle and missed it. Coren moved out of the way. But still is maintaining a degree of control in this matchup. What is he going to do here with Kurt Angle? Up on the second rope. Oh no, this is looking bad. Backbreaker to Angle. From that second rope as well. That's a dangerous move. And Coren knows it. And that's why he keeps on hitting moves like that. Jesus Christ, he just let him go in the air. No regard for his opponent. Angle could have come down on his neck there. Coren would have probably loved that. And again, the strikes come out to play here. Blasting him with that kick. Kurt Angle needs something here. And there may be his something. Forearm there, counter. Angle, again to the belly-to-bellies. Coren trying to take some time to retaliate. And oh, yes! Angle's going to go for the ankle lock. The ankle lock is going to be stitched in here. Look at that being applied on Coren. Imagine the scenes if Coren tapped out before NXT TakeOver. Angle wrenching on the ankle there. Trying to get him to tap out, but Coren will not submit. Kicking the leg there, kicking the knee more specifically of Kurt Angle. Stumbles up to a vertical base. Catches him from behind. No! Clock strikes 12. The ropes may have helped Angle on the way down. We can only hope, because there's the cover. 1, 2, 3. They didn't. Coren wins. And just like that, he could win at TakeOver over Tanahashi. Coren's celebration cut short because he has seen what's waiting for him on the entrance ramp. And it's that man there, Hiroshi Tanahashi. We're going to get it on early for TakeOver. They want to fight one another right now. They cannot wait another moment. They are going to battle once again, and Coren strikes first at Tanahashi, and they go back and forth on the entrance ramp. Security, referees trying to get involved. There will be nowhere to separate them. This a TakeOver. Look at them swinging at each other. These two men want to kill one another.